Welcome to yet another exciting episode of SISTA Talk. We are on Elevate TV and my name is Nenoh Ndiema. We are so glad that you could make time to join us. It's indeed amazing what a journey it is becoming. Every day we are learning and we are growing. And you know the Bible says that of whom much is given, much is expected. So the more we learn, the more we are meant to grow. Today we're taking a different angle. We want to look at matters nutrition. Because hiyo kukula na kujiachilia, wamama, wa sisters tunaacha, wa dadas. We want to take care of ourselves. We want to be available for our families when we are in good health and we are able to raise them in the best way possible. So karibu sana, thank you for making time. Talk to us on our social media handles at Elevate TV Kenya. We are so thankful that you make time every time to watch and to rewatch and to listen to us. We're also on YouTube at Elevate TV Kenya in case you've missed an episode or you want to watch and maybe just interact with it some more. You can find us on YouTube at Elevate TV Kenya. So today I have amazing guests, two very energetic people who are ready to take us through the topic on nutrition and matters health. I feel like I'm the one who needs to do it on my own, but thank you for making time. So karibu sana Ken and Mumina, I want you to introduce yourselves because I know I'll not do justice. We'll start with you, Ken.
Okay. Yes, good morning. My name is Kennedy. I'm a nutritionist and I'm glad to be here. I love nutrition. I love talking about nutrition. I speak nutrition, I eat nutrition, I live nutrition, and I'm a nutritionist. And today, this is the day we are going to tackle the matters related to nutrition and why nutrition is very, very important and why we should invest in good nutrition.
That's good.
Thank you.
Good. I like the way you're saying you love nutrition, meaning you have embraced it as part of your life.
Yes,
that is good.
Yeah,
that is good. Okay. Wow, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Mumina, you also love nutrition. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, my name is Lilian Mumina. I am a clinical nutritionist. Okay. I live and practice in Kenya. I am very passionate about nutrition. I'm very passionate about healthy eating. I'm actually looking forward to a day whereby people will be more aware of what they're eating. People will be more aware of the food choices that they're making. I'm actually so glad that we're here today because recently we had the Kenya Bureau of Standards questioning a lot of those products that we are eating on a day-to-day routine.
Yes.
So it's a good thing that we have such talks because you're going to create more awareness on food choices and what people should be eating on a day-to-day routine. So I'm definitely glad to be here.
Karibuni sana. You're so welcome. I mean, I just feel like just diving in straight into nutrition. First and foremost, when you say you love nutrition, it sounds like a person. Like, what is nutrition? And matters of health. Tell us, why is it even important and what is it?
Okay, nutrition is part of life. And I will take you in the Bible. God himself was a nutritionist. Because when he put people in the Garden of Eden, he provided all what they needed. So he provided them with food.
Yeah, true.
And food is part of nutrition. So nutrition did not start it was not started in Kenya. It was started by God himself.
In the Garden of Eden.
In the Garden of Eden.
Like
this is where nutrition started.
Yeah.
So when we talk of nutrition, we are talking about God himself and how God wants us to live.
That's true.
And God wants us to be healthy. So this is when we are talking about nutrition. Nutrition, it has got many terminologies.
Okay.
And basically, this is the biological and physiological process by which organism obtain food to support life. And when we talk of organism, here we are talking of human being, me and you.
That's true.
How can we make sure that we obtain good nutrition from what we eat? It is a responsibility of an individual to ensure that you take care of what you eat.
That's true.
To ensure that you understand what you eat. Because if you don't understand what you eat, you end up messing yourself.
Very true.
Yes.
Very true.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nice. What else can you tell us about nutrition and why is it so important? I mean,
basically he has even included God in it,
which is
very, very
central,
important because for him to put man into that Garden of Eden, he was actually trying to provide them with nourishment so that they can have something to take care of their daily needs, their energy needs. That is basically what nutrition is supposed to do. It's supposed to provide you with adequate amounts of energy to help you run on day-to-day activities, breathing, excretion, when you're moving, when even when you're sleeping, you're actually using energy. That is what nutrition does. When it comes to health, nutrition is very, very important because, again, there's a lot of changes that have come about, especially most women being, I will not say it's unfortunate. Maybe it's both fortunate and unfortunate because for most ladies, after you get married, we start siring kids. As for most, they become indefinite stay-at-home wives. So this becomes a bit challenging in terms of their nutrition because you will find that most of these women will end up over-consuming foods that they actually don't need, and this is whereby the problem comes to be. Because when God put man there in that garden, he actually gave him tasks to take care of the other animals. So you're actually supposed to be working so that you can eat. So you can imagine the problems with eating and you're just sitting there. There's a lot of things that can come out of it. So that is what when we say we want nutritionists. Actually, I also forget to mention. I'm the national treasurer of the Kenya Union of Nutritionists, whereby we are championing for more nutritionists on the ground, so so that we can have our mothers, our sisters, our girls, all these empowered with knowledge to make sure that they take up they know what they're supposed to be doing with their lives. They get to understand more about food choices and such things. This is basically what we're trying to do.
Wow, I love what you're saying. I mean, I'm listening to you guys and I'm like, is it that ignorance is what is too high in the country? Is it that we don't know, or we know and we ignore?
Basically, it is combination.
Can you help us?
It is combination.
It's combination of ignorance and ignoring.
Yeah. And you see that most of the people, despite they know what they are supposed to do, they just ignore and take what is available. And especially nowadays, people are working in offices.
That's true.
People are doing many things, so they will prefer going for fast food than preparing their own meal. And that's why I call it ignorance, because you already know what you are supposed to do, but since you don't want to do it, you just ignore. And that's why we say, at the end of the day, you find yourself messing up with your life or with your health. Because if you take, she has said that when God put these people in the Garden of Eden, he commissioned them to work.
That's true.
To eat and work.
That's true.
Now here I'm eating and I don't work. Meaning I'm taking more than what my body is needing. Can handle. Then when you take what your body cannot handle, what do you expect? The body has its own of doing things. So at the end of the day, you will see the repercussion. So what my advice is, we should consider what you are eating. We should understand very well. When I eat this, what are the repercussions? Now another problem comes in that we don't the knowledge. You find people are few with knowledge, but they cannot implement the knowledge. You find a few without the knowledge, but they don't want to learn. That is where I call ignorance. The
world is moving so fast, or that's at least what it feels like sometimes. Where do you think we should start to begin to even know about our nutrition, or why it's important in the first place? Where do you think we should start?
We are in the 21st century. So there's a lot of, it's a fast-paced situation currently. So we are having a lot of things that there's a lot of information in terms of exposure. There's a lot of also other knowledge, is it bad information in terms of also bad foods? So you'll find that most people, our key problems, before we get to where we start, our key problem is basically most nutritious foods being put out there as being boring. So most people don't want.
I think.
In Kenya, no. In Kenya, nutritious foods are not expensive.
Oh, really?
No, they are not.
Okay, we'll get to that.
They are not expensive.
About the boring ones,
Yeah, we are talking about the boring ones are actually more expensive. Getting a meal at KFC is 400 bob. That is lunch. If you go eat githeri, it's 50 shillings.
True.
And you add an avocado to that githeri. In Kenya, we are not yet at the point whereby we can talk about nutritious food being expensive. I would call it being marketed as boring, or as maybe not having enough time. The addiction, I usually call it the sugar crave addiction.
That's true.
whereby you want to just consume, because when it starts as fun because you have, and then unfortunately for our society there's a lot of, because I'm rich, because I can. So, and women, you know us being women, you want to show your next door neighbor,
of course,
I have it, mzee anajiweza, unaona, tuko nayo. So this person will end up they'll start wanting to start cooking things like chapatis every day. You start wanting to fry so that your neighbor can understand that you can actually do it. It's unfortunate. Most women are like that. So this becomes a problem because you're not only ruining your life as a woman, you're ruining your household.
Yeah,
your kids will end up getting accustomed to such meals.
Yeah.
What happens is that your body will also be accustomed to such. So the days that you're not going to eat the fried foods, the days that you're not going to eat the cakes, the days that you're not going to eat the cookies, your body inakuwa ni kama, you see the withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah, that's true.
So you actually will be craving those foods and you're ruining your body. That is that is our root problems. The root problem is what the choices that you are going to we take up on a day-to-day routine. And as women, we also have the hormonal imbalances and such. So the hormonal profiles again are being distracted by all these problems that you're going to tunajiekea. So at the end of the day, it's good that you're doing this show for women, because it usually said if you change the woman's mind, you change the household outcomes. So
I think like you're saying, if we get it right as women and as ladies, please let's listen and act. As we get it right, then in our households we'll get it right, and then it can spread from there.
Even our kids will get it right.
But let me ask, okay, so all this we're talking about, there's a lot of awareness that we need to have, and ignorance is on another level sometimes. How did our forefathers and grandparents go through life very well? And okay, I don't think there was so much I don't know, information about nutrition, Ken. What do you think? How come these diseases that we have now that seem to be very common, and were not there then, or were they there? And
first of all, we need to accept that the world is moving so very fast.
Yeah.
And what our parents used to eat is not what we are eating.
That's true.
During that time, much of the foods were not processed. They used to eat things that came direct from the farm.
True, by the way, true.
Today, even if I take an example from you, what did you eat in the morning?
At least nduma.
No, in most cases you ate tea and bread.
Yeah, in most cases. in most
that is
cases,
what happens, or tea and mandazi.
Yeah, of course. I hear you, yes.
We eat tea and mandazi.
Yes.
We don't eat things that are direct from the farm.
Yeah, true.
So you find that these people used to eat things that are direct from the farm, and again they used to do exercise.
Yeah.
Think of our lifestyle, and again they used to they had discipline on what to eat and how to eat. Nowadays we are just eating anyhowly. Because I'm in the house, I can eat anything. I can put something in the fridge. I can take a juice. I can take, So we are eating things that have got extra kilocalories, but our bodies are inactive. We live a sedentary life. We are less active. We don't do exercise. Our parents, even if there were the diseases that we are talking were there during their time, but they had discipline.
Yeah.
They knew how to go about life. Nowadays, let's say 95% of what we are eating is processed. And even those that come direct from the farm, we are using fertilizer.
True.
And our farmers, most of them they don't practice good discipline. In fact, when they are spraying their product, you find that maybe once you spray, it's supposed to get the drug you are supposed to harvest maybe after a week or two, but they spray today and they harvest today. Then tomorrow we eat the same food. So there is a lot that our parents used to do. Maybe Mumina can add on that.
I'm just listening to you and I'm thinking you have such a strong point, because then at that time it was go to the shamba, get some boga, come and cook it immediately.
Yeah.
And you cook it and eat it. So there's even no much of storage and, you know, there's no preserving and all that, which I think was very fresh. Thank you for that point. Mumina, what do you think helped our grandparents and also going to the shamba?
Actually, to add on what he has said, he has actually talked about the aspect of availability of fresh foods, fresh whole foods. So that is one thing. You know, your body, the way your body is made. Today, the way God created us, He created us in a way that we have systems, that internal systems that actually work for the betterment of your body. So they're not working against your body. So if you're feeding the body the right amounts of foods, there will be that excretion process whereby the body will be able to remove the excess foods. That is where you go to the toilet, that is where you sweat, that is where you even pee, because the body is trying to make sure that it rids off the extra things that you've given that it doesn't actually need. Now the problem comes in now with the current or the modern world, the modern Kenya, whereby you want to feed your body with toxins, as he has talked about. You want to feed your body with extra calories that you actually don't need. You want to go and channel and change your systems, how your hormones, how your systems are working inside your system. You're actually overloading your metabolic system. What happens when you do this? They start becoming shaky. Now, what our grandparents or what our forefathers used to do, I can give you a very real example with myself. So when I was young, I would go to shags every holidays. So when we would wake up at around maybe 6, because my grandmother would wake up at 5, then maybe to go milk the cows and such things. And then by 6, you're not going to take tea at 6. You wake up at 6. Mnapelekwa shambani. You see, you've not eaten. The last time you ate was at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. almost 5, because dinner was also early. So by 8 p.m. you're all asleep. So at 6 a.m. you're at the shamba. You go, you mnalima, and then at around 10, 11, that is the first time you will come to have tea. So and you're going to have this tea, and you're going to have something like tea with githeri or tea with pumpkins. That is what you used to have, because where I come from, that was available. That was what was available. So now you see, now we've taken fresh milk, we've taken malenge from the shamba, or we've taken githeri. So you see, you've already fed your body for success for the day. You've gotten enough energy, you've gotten enough proteins, you've gotten enough fiber, you have all the necessary nutrients to take you up through the day. And then now, if you again now your duties are going to be distributed. You'll go, someone will go fetch water, someone will go take care of the cattle, someone will go take care of the kids, and someone will start cleaning the homestead. Now, by the end of the day, like maybe you come to around 2, that is when people gather again to eat lunch. 2, 3. So the lunch is I think it was the heaviest meal of the day. In that family in my grandmother's family setup, so you'll have maybe like ugali, you can have a glass of milk or a glass of mala, because the fermentation was being done naturally. So you'll have that, and then you have maybe like skuma, spinach, or some vegetables, cabbage here and there. Then you have dinner again, githeri. So it was a bit predictable, yes. It was not as interesting as people would call it currently, but it was very healthy. Your body was in a position to handle, even if you overconsume that food, if you overconsume the ugali that you're going to eat is not the processed one. The one that has been, they've removed all the jam, they've removed all the fiber, they've removed all the vitamins, they've removed everything that is just, you're going to have empty calories, things that your body doesn't even need. But you see, when you're taking whole foods, you're going to be taking up things that are going to provide you with, it's like you're taking poison, and at the same time you're getting the antidote when you're taking the whole foods. Because you're taking up the foods, you're taking up the foods, but you're also giving your body time to deal with it. So it becomes that is the main reason that people will tell you that our grandparents used to live differently. They don't have diseases as we have. That is the main reason. And then as he talked about exercise, people want to wake up, take tea, get the remote, watch TV the whole day. Amke aende kwa fridge, akule lunch, arudi kwa TV, watch 5, aende aoge, aende akanunue mboga. That is the most they do. But in the past, people used to go to shambas. Mtu anaenda kulima. Say, ask a 9-year-old in Nairobi if they know what a shamba looks like.
And a cow. They only know the one for...
They only know the ones for cocomelon. And that is where, I'm not saying we go back. We cannot, you know, we cannot, change is inevitable. We cannot refuse to change. We cannot refuse to move with time. But we can try as much as we can as a society to take up the things that will work best for us and ignore those ones that won't.
Very true.
That is the most that we can do.
Thank you, Momina. I think what you're saying is really helpful. It's very helpful for us. I'm just listening to you, and I think both of you have really mentioned adversely processed foods. Help us understand what you mean by processed foods, because some of us are just used to eating anything. We go to the supermarket and pick stuff, you know. That's how a number of us live, you know. You just go pick stuff, eat. You don't even know whether it's processed or not. What are processed foods, Ken?
Most of the foods that are in the supermarket are processed.
Oh.
During processing, you find that some of the nutrients get denatured during processing. And she has mentioned something about empty kilocalories. And then you find to some extent, this food will be fortified. So you find that for example, if you take an example of something like a cake, you cannot compare a cake with ugali.
Yes.
You see, a cake has been fortified. First of all,
what is to fortify?
It has been added an extra things that were not there. So you find that you are taking something small, but now when it comes to the amount of kilocalories, the amount of energy that is in that thing is very high. And thus, she has talked about the empty kilocalories. You find that during processing, most of the vitamins, the B12, the B-complex vitamin will be removed, and some of the vitamins will get denatured. So you find that at the end of the day, this thing will be fortified with extra energy or kilocalories. So you eat something small, but at the end of the day, when it goes to the stomach, the body will not recognize as small. It will recognize like something very big.
I see you.
Yes. So when we talk about processing, these are things that has undergone through the machine. They will either remove some of the nutrients and tend to add some of the nutrients, of which we are not sure of what they are going to add. We are not sure. Some of the things when you read the labels, you find that it is indicated it has this, it has this, it has this. But how sure are you? To some extent, yes, there are institutions that are responsible to check that. But you see, to some extent, you find that maybe what is indicated on the package is not what is in the food. So at the end of the day, what we are saying that processed foods will tend to have some effects to your bodies, if only you are not aware of it. Because you need to understand. In fact, when you go to the supermarket, how many people will take time to read the labels?
Who has time?
How many will do that?
Who even has that time? I hear you.
We need to create that time.
Like myself, if I go to the supermarket to buy something, maybe something worth 100 shillings, I will take even 30 minutes.
Oh, really?
Comparing the ingredients.
Oh, really?
Comparing, wanting to know what is in this product, what is in this product, and what are the ingredients. But you find that most of our people will just pick
the cheapest.
The cheapest.
Or
because they are in a hurry. But
now,
now, at the end of the day, once we eat this food, they have some repercussions or some effects, which may be good or bad, depending. And again, you know, we have different body system. My system may not work the same way. Yes. So those are things that we need to consider.
That's good.
Yes.
Momina, we are just about to take a short break, but I want to know. So are you saying we should not eat processed foods? Are we saying, you know, because I'm feeling like every food, when I think, where do we get ugali? Where do we get? Of course, we can get maize, I think, from home, from the shamba. But processed food is like part of our lives. What are you suggesting then?
Unfortunately, we cannot completely avoid processed food.
That's true.
But I usually tell people, if you can, avoid it. If you have an option of getting something that is less processed, please do that. Because again, as he has talked about the empty calories, the removal, and then you know we have this thing of fortification and fortification is basically adding other nutrients to
Yes.
food.
Yeah.
Again, you know, our culture, us as a nation, Kenya as a nation, how is our integrity? It's wanting.
It's growing. Let's use that big word like growing.
It's wanting. It's really, we need to pray a lot
So
about
true.
the integrity levels of our citizens, because again, you will have someone clearly labeled that this has been fortified with organic supplements, with organic vitamins, organic minerals. But again, they end up, because, you know, for it to pass at KEBS, it has to have some certain amounts of B vitamins or certain amounts of vitamin A, or certain amounts of fiber, for instance, the bread. So they end up adding the synthetic additional nutrients and such, which again is a problem because our body was not wired to utilize or metabolize synthetic foods. So again, we cannot completely avoid processed foods because we are in that era where food production is changing daily. So in the future, we are bound to get more processed. Like our foods are going to get more processed. So what you can do, what we can actually do is actually try as much as we can to try and eat foods. If you can get whole foods, please do. Instead of taking tea with sugar in the morning, take tea with banana. Yeah, take tea with banana instead of just replace the processed sugars.
I like what
try replacing, because you cannot tell people to avoid certain foods completely, but you know there are things that you can actually replace and still enjoy your life. Because at the end of the day, nutrition should not be a punishment. That is what we are. If it's a punishment, no one will be consistent with it.
That's true.
So it has to be something that someone enjoys. And food, as African food, is taken to be a time of pleasure, a time of celebration. When you go to celebrate, food is there.
All right. Wow. I need us to take a short break. I think you guys are, I'm getting some hope on behalf of every viewer. So we'll take a short break. This is Sister Talk. Continue to engage with us, but we will be right back after the break.